Hello everyone, and welcome back to CM50, the video edition. In this video, we'll be expanding on Unit 25 of CM50, which covers aspect markers. So, what are aspect markers? Well, let's look at tense versus aspect markers. Firstly, tense indicates when an action occurs, past, present, or future. And what about aspect? It indicates the state of the action, independent of when it occurs. So let's look at them side by side. Tense versus aspect. Tense tells us the time of an action, whereas aspect tells us the state of an action. So, tense, the time of an action, aspect, the state of an action. So, some common tenses are past, present, and future. Now, obviously, there are more than these, but we'll just consider these three for now. An aspect, some common ones are completed, progressive, experienced. Now, let's bring in a word to look at these two, tense and aspect. And the word is eating. Now, if we were to look at this word and we had to choose what tense is this word, we might say present. And what aspect would you say it is? You might say progressive. The reality is, just from looking at this word alone, we don't know which tense it is, but we do know that it is progressive aspect. In order to get the tense, we need to pair it with another word or put it into a sentence. So, for example, eating was eating. Now we know that this refers to the past, and the aspect is still progressive. So, past tense, progressive aspect. How about am eating? This is now the present tense and still progressive aspect. Will be eating. This is future tense and still progressive aspect. So that brings us back to this point. Aspect indicates the state of the action independent of when it occurs. So here we saw was eating, am eating, will be eating. The to be verb is what told us the tense. It conjugated, it changed form to tell us whether it was the past, present, or future. Was, past tense, am, present tense, and will be, future tense. But the aspect, in this case the ing, eating, stayed exactly the same for all of those three tenses. So, tense tells us the time of an action, whether it's past, present, or future, but aspect tells us the state of an action, completed, progressive, or experienced. So, it's independent of the time. So, let's look at these three: completed, progressive, and experiential aspect. First of all, what is completed aspect? Well, the aspect marker for completed actions is le. So in other words, we use le to mark the fact that the action is completed. So for example, take the action ting, which means listen. How would we say that this action has been completed? We simply add le. Ting le, listened. So note that the aspect marker le comes after the verb. So ting is listen and ting le is listened, completed. She listened to music. 她听了音乐. Let's use another verb. 看, watch. So how would we mark the fact that this is completed? How would we say watched? 看了. So again, we simply put le after the verb can. So can is watch, 看了 is watched. We watched a movie. 我们看了一部电影. Let's take another verb. Rebel. 反叛. How would we say rebelled, completed? 反叛了. So rebel, 反叛. Rebelled, 反叛了. They rebelled against Jehovah. 他们反叛了耶和华. And this works for all verbs, including irregular verbs such as find, 找到. How would we say found? It works the same way. 找到了. So we suffix 了 to 找到. So find, 找到. Found, 找到了. I found the keys. 我找到了钥匙. Another irregular verb, run, 跑. Ran, 跑了. Run is 跑, ran, 跑了. He saw the dog and ran. 他看到狗就跑了. Here's another one. Eat, 吃. How would we say ate? 吃了. So eat is 吃 and completed aspect ate is 吃了. I ate breakfast. 我吃了早餐. Now it must be stressed quite strongly that le is not past tense. Let's go back to this sentence. I ate breakfast. 我吃了早餐. Now let's expand it a little bit. I ate breakfast this morning. 我今天早上吃了早餐. Now this is past tense and completed aspect. I have already eaten breakfast. 我已经吃了早餐. Now this is the perfect present tense, which is used to express actions that were completed sometime in the past, but have relevance to the present moment. 我已经吃了早餐. Imagine someone says, oh, let me make you some breakfast. And you say, 我已经吃了早餐. I have already eaten breakfast. This happened in the past, but it's relevant to the present. Hence, it's the present perfect tense, but completed aspect. Can we use it for the future? After I've eaten breakfast, I will go for a run. 我吃了早餐后就去跑步. So it hasn't happened yet, therefore it's future tense, but still completed aspect. So, aspect indicates the state of the action independent of when it occurs. So it could be in the past, present, or future, but the aspect would stay the same. And in this case, we saw how the completed aspect could happen in the past, present, or future. To mark the completed aspect, we put le after the verb. How about the progressive aspect? Well, the marker for this is 在. Now, we've already come across this word as a verb or preposition to mean at. 他在家, he is at home. It also functions as a progressive aspect marker to tell us that a verb or an action is in progress. For example, 吃. How would we mark that this action, this verb, is in progress? Quite simply, 在吃. So here this is different to le. So le comes after the verb that it marks, whereas 在 comes before the verb that it marks. So eat is 吃, eating is 在吃. I am eating breakfast. 我在吃早餐. Let's use another verb. Listen. 听. How do we mark that this action, this verb, is in progress? 在听. So listen is 听. Listening is 在听. She is listening to music. 她在听音乐. Now, to make the point again that aspect is not the same as tense, let's have a look at this sentence. I am eating breakfast. 我在吃早餐. So can eating, the progressive aspect marker, happen in the past? Can it happen in the future? We'll have a look. 我在吃早餐. This is present tense, progressive aspect. I am, present tense, eating, progressive aspect, breakfast. But what about this sentence? I was eating breakfast when you called just now. 你刚才打电话时，我在吃早餐. So, I was, past tense, eating, progressive aspect. So, the verb eat was in progress at some point in the past. At this time tomorrow, I'll likely be eating breakfast. 明天这个时候，我可能在吃早餐. So what tense is this? It is future tense. I will be. But it is progressive aspect, eating. So the action, the verb eat, will be in progress in the future. So aspect tells us what state the verb is in, regardless of the time, whether it's past, present, or future. We've just looked at the progressive aspect marker, which we put before the verb to mark the fact that it's in progress. Lastly, let's look at the experiential aspect marker, 过. Now, what do we mean by experiential? Well, 过emphasizes that an action or event has been experienced at least once at an unspecified time in the past. So it's not just the fact that it's completed or that it's happened, but that it's been experienced. And this is highlighted on page 50, unit 25.4. So let's see how this works. Have a look at this sentence. I have eaten stinky tofu. 我吃过臭豆腐. So this is emphasizing the fact that I've had this experience. Now compare that with the completed aspect. I ate stinky tofu. 我吃了臭豆腐. So 我吃了臭豆腐, this is just marking the fact that it has happened. The action has been completed. Whereas 我吃过臭豆腐, I have eaten stinky tofu. This highlights the fact that I've had this experience. Here's another sentence. I have read the Bible. 我看过圣经. I have had the experience of reading the Bible at least once in the past. I read the Bible. 我看了圣经. This just highlights that the action has been completed. So imagine if someone says, what did you do this morning? Would we say, I have read the Bible, or I read the Bible? We would say, I read the Bible this morning. 我看了圣经. What if someone asks us, which interesting holy books have you read? Would we say, I read the Bible, or I have read the Bible? More likely, we would say, I have read the Bible. I've had this experience. 我看过圣经. What if you were to ask someone, have you ever read the Bible? This would be, 你看过圣经吗? Have you ever had the experience of reading the Bible? So notice, have you ever? But 你看了圣经吗? This is asking, did you read the Bible? So it's actually more clearer in the question form. So imagine if someone said, I read some things this morning. Would you say to them, oh, have you ever read the Bible? Or would we say, did you read the Bible? We would say, did you read the Bible? 你看了圣经吗? If someone said, I've read lots of holy books, which one are we more likely to say? Did you read the Bible? Or have you ever read the Bible? It's more likely that we'd say, have you ever read the Bible? 你看过圣经吗? So that's the difference between 了 and 过. 了 simply marks the fact that the verb was completed, Gore marks the fact that the verb has been experienced. So this has been an overview of aspect markers, and as always, there's more to come in the following units. Well, actually, that was the last one. See ya.